Again, good morning mga anak. We are now in the middle of the lesson. We are in the breathing mechanism. Okay? Through breathing, oxygen and carbon dioxide are exchanged between the external environment and the body cells. Okay? External environment in the sense that inhalation, you're actually carrying what? Air, or you're actually inhaling air coming into your, going to your lungs. Okay? Air means to say it's a mixture of different gases. Like there are some carbon dioxide also there are some carbon monoxide and all of those. Okay. Breathing is a physical process of getting air in. So it's inspiration. Inspiration is not all inspiration alone. It's breathing in, and breathing out is expiration of the lungs. Again, the other medical term for inhalation is inspiration, and exhalation is expiration. Okay. Inspiration, also known as inhalation, okay, is the movement of air from the external environment through the airways and into the alveoli of your lungs. That's inspiration or inhalation. Okay. During the inspiration, the intercostal muscles, these are muscles attached to your rib cage, help form and move the chest wall, contract and move upward. Remember your diaphragm. Your diaphragm is moving. Your diaphragm is helping to expand, okay, the lungs, okay, raising the chest cavity or your ribs or your sternum. Your sternum is the hard part at the center. This one. Can you observe that one? This is your sternum, okay. Chest cavity. This is your chest cavity or your rib cage, okay. Again, sternum is in the center, the hard one. It actually protects your heart also, aside from your rib cage. Okay. When you have your when you pursue medicine, you will know that the sternum is really hard because this is the one being opened. Okay. This is cut in the laboratory and open in order for us to open to see the arrangement of the internal organs in the human body. That is why it's really hard. Okay. Likewise, the diaphragm contracts and moves downwards. If it moves downwards, it will actually carry some area to expand. Okay, expanding your thorax or thoracic cavity and reducing the pressure. Okay, the air from outside rushes through the airways and into the lungs. So that's how we inspire. Okay, that's inspiration or inhalation. Okay. Expiration, on the other hand, is also known as exhalation. Exhale is the movement of air out of the lungs into the external environment. Okay. During expiration, the intercostal muscles contract, lowering the chest cavity and compressing the thorax. Okay. If the thorax or thoracic cavity compressed, tendency is the lungs will be, okay, the diaphragm relaxes and moves upward. So it squeezes now the lungs in order for the air to move out, okay, causing compression of the lungs and an outward flow of air. Exhaled air contains carbon dioxide. Okay, but in the case of asthmatic, some of the asthmatic patient, they exhale oxygen. That is why, sure. What is that support that they are using? It's an ordinary support actually. That is to catch up the oxygen being exhaled. Okay. Again, in some cases, some of the patient with asthma or asthma attack or asthmatic, they tend to exhale oxygen. That is why they need to put a support in their mouth and in their nose to catch up the oxygen being exhaled. That's the reason behind. And important thing, if you have also, if there are some asthma attack, if you have the pulse oximeter, you use the pulse oximeter. Are you familiar with the pulse oximeter? Anybody? Are you familiar with the pulse oximeter? I will let you see if in
No,
case.
sir. Ay,
Okay, I'll get some for a while. I will let you see. Okay, this is the pulse oximeter. Okay, it measures the amount of oxygen that your body is actually contained. Okay, it is important. Why? Because when you lose around 95% or below 95% of oxygen, tendency is there will be some problems. There will be a lot of problems that may arise in your body. Okay, remember that our body is using a lot of oxygen. Okay, again, if it traces below 95%, then you need to have an oxygen supplemented in you by a nasal cannula. Nasal cannula, the one being actually installed in the nose, those are nasal cannula. Okay, in highly asthmatic person with asthma attack, okay, it is really important. So again, you can actually buy some if you want. Now my oxygen level here is around 98%, and the HR or heart rate is 106. So this is important. Okay. Again, this is pulse oximeter. Let's move forward. Do you have any questions so far? Question? Where's your microphone, Ravi?
no, sir.
Okay,
I
that's
forgot,
great.
sir.
Right. Respiratory rate or RR is the number of breaths. We usually term in the medical field, RR has or respiratory rate, we name it RR. Heart rate is HR. Okay. O2 saturation or the amount of oxygen in your blood or in your body is called O2 sat. So these are the abbreviations. So respiratory rate or RR is the number of breaths taken within the set of amount of time, typically within the second or within the minute. Okay. So the amount of breaths, inhale and exhale, okay, it is actually counted. Human respiration rate is measured when a person is at rest and involves counting the number of breaths in 1 minute by counting how many times the chest rises. Okay, chest rise. So this is how we count the number of respiratory rate or RR. Okay, we tend to look at how many times the chest rises, because if there are some chest rise, we need to say that the lungs actually expand and relaxes. Okay, so this is the average respiratory rates by age, and this is as follows. From birth to 6 weeks, you have 30 to 60 breaths per minute or BPM. 6 months is 25. Going to adult, it's 12 to 18 breaths per minute. Sure, why it's so fast in babies? Okay. Talking about newborns don't actually know how to breathe that easy. Okay, they're actually gasping more air, right? Their lungs are not fully developed yet. That is the reason why. And as years passed by and months passed by, they actually develop their lungs, okay, with a lot of capacity, with a bigger um air capacity. So most probably it became lesser and lesser until it stables in 12 to 18 breaths per minute in adult, right? So this is the reason behind. Sir, why do we need to take note of the respiratory rate? Okay. For the respiratory rate, this is one way or another to double check on the capacity of your lungs. If your lungs is in what? It's in good capacity. Sometimes we tend to analyze the data given by this in order for us to realize the effects or the how far your lungs is being suffered from a certain illness, for example. This is the reason behind. Rates may increase with fever, illness, or other medical conditions, or like tuberculosis or COVID. It can actually raise the respiratory rate simply because the attack is in the respiratory system. Okay. Let's move now. Do you have any question with the respiratory system?
No, sir.
Okay. Let's move now to the parts of the human circulatory system and their functions. Okay. Human circulatory system is a closed network of organs and blood vessels responsible for the flow of materials such as blood cells, carbon dioxide, hormones, nutrients, oxygen, and other dissolved gases to or from the cells to nourish and protect the body from diseases and maintain body temperature and pH level or the acidity. Please let me know if we discuss much. Okay, I can really understand because some of you just bump to these terminologies. Okay, please let me know because I want you to learn out from it, not to torture you. Okay, this is not a torture. Okay, I want you to learn out of it. The overall input for the body to maintain homeostasis, or the overall put is for the body to maintain homeostasis. Homeostasis is a state of balance. Homeostasis or homeostasis. This is a state of balance. Okay, balance, sure. From where? Okay, balance from in and out of the cell. The water from in and out of the cell. Yes, it should be balanced or have a homeostatic environment. So those are the cases of homeostasis. Homeostasis is the ability of the system to maintain its constant internal environment, such as proper temperature, pH, in spite of environmental changes. This is homeostasis, the state of balance. Okay. Talking about temperature. Hi, Janine. Janine is there. Please turn on your camera. Arthur also. Hi, Jillian. Okay. This is the state of balance. Meaning to say that your body now can actually maintain its temperature and maintain its internal environment, even though there are some changes of environment or environmental factors. Okay, like for example, you expose yourself under the heat of the sun, but your temperature is still the same. It's 37. Why? Because your body now is maintaining its, or the body maintains its homeostatic situation or homeostasis. That is actually homeostasis. Okay. Do not be confused with the terminologies, ha? Please take note of the terminologies. The human circulatory system consists of heart, blood vessels, and blood. Okay. Let's take a look at heart. Heart is a hollow muscular organ that pumps blood through the blood vessels by repeated rhythmic contractions. An adult human heart is about the size of the fists. This one. Okay. That's what I'm telling you. This is just the size of a fist. It's so small that when you dissect it, you'll be find it hard to locate for the different parts of the heart because of it, because of the size. Okay. The mass is between 250 grams to 350 grams. In females, it's 300 to 350. Okay. In males, again, mass is between 250 grams to 350 grams in females. and 300 to 350 grams in males. Okay. The organ is located anterior to the vertebral column. This is the vertebral column at the back, anterior. So this is the anterior part of the column, and posterior to the sternum. So this is your sternum, posterior. You can actually see your heart. Okay. Have you seen the actual heart? Anybody?
Just
This one?
pictures, sir.
Would you like to see it? I have it here if you want. Wait, what happened to your face, Rabi? I have it here.
Is it real, sir? From a
Yes, it's
person?
real. Not in a person, because I leave the human
It's
heart
a
in the
model.
no, it's real. It's real. I leave the human heart in the laboratory.
No, no, I mean like it's from a person, like a person's heart, or
I leave the human heart in the laboratory because they want to, dig more with those with that heart. Okay. But the heart that I have here is the swine heart. It's a pig's heart. You want to see it? Okay.
yes, sir.
I will just get it. You want to see it now?
Yes.
Yeah, I'll remove my background. This is a swine heart. It was dissected by my students. Take note. It was actually dissected by my students. Okay. My students from Science 9. Okay. Saint Cecilia Group 2. Okay. They actually located the different parts of the heart. Okay. From the outer and going to the inner. Supposed to be, we'll be doing this one also. We'll be doing dissection. But then again, it is still pandemic, so I cannot actually assure you that we can do dissection. But this is really fun, okay? To tell you honestly. Right? Okay. I have
May
a
I
lot of,
ask?
yes. Yes, Jillian.
Oh, sorry. What was the yellow liquid that was
Okay.
inside the jar?
Inside the jar is 70-30, so 70% water and 30% formaldehyde or formalin. This is to preserve the specimen. Okay.
Thank you,
The one,
teacher.
yes, it was actually prepared by my students. Grade 9, actually, same as you. They did dissection. Okay. Because talking about learning is not just a mere talking. Okay. We need to do something in order for you to learn. Okay. Again, supposed to be, you'll be doing a lot of activities, especially in the laboratory. I can assure you that science is fun. It is really fun. Okay. That is why I need the officers in order for me also to know what are the things that you want to do. Okay. I am open to suggestion. Any suggestion with the officers and all of those. You can always raise your suggestion. Sure. What if we will do this one and that one? I am open to that. Okay. Because again, this is not just for the mere lesson alone. It's for experience. Okay. We still have 5 minutes more. The heart is surrounded by a double-walled membrane called pericardium. Okay. Pericardium is present in my specimen here. It has a pericardium. The outer wall is called parietal pericardium, the outer, while the inner wall is called visceral pericardium. Again, the heart is surrounded by a double-walled membrane. That's how stiff your heart, that's how hard your heart is. Okay, it's a double-walled membrane called pericardium. The outer pericardium, the outer wall is called the parietal pericardium. The inner is the visceral pericardium. Okay, the visceral pericardium secretes pericardial fluid into the pericardial space between the pericardial layer. There is a layer in between. Why? Because remember that your heart is moving. And again, to reduce friction, it should be what? It should have a space between with fluid or pericardial fluid. This is to prevent damages if in case. Pericardial layers allowing the inner and outer walls to slide each other with each movement of the heart. This is to slide, okay? To prevent friction. What else? This is to have a smooth movement of the heart, okay? So if you're going to look at your heart, this is the pericardium. Can you see my shared screen? Still, okay? This is the pericardium, okay? And again, the outer is called parietal. This one, the outer. The inner is called visceral. Okay. I don't know if you can actually observe this one, but it is clear in my my eyes here. I'll let you see. Yeah, it's really clear here. Don't worry. One of these days, we'll be having an exhibit for this. Okay. The outer wall of heart consists of 3 layers. We have the epicardium, outer wall. We're talking about the outer wall. The outer layer is called epicardium, which is known as the visceral pericardium, since it is also inner wall of the pericardium. Okay. The middle layer is made up of contractile cardiac muscle called the myocardium. Okay, the myocardium are the muscles in your heart. Myo means heart. Myo means muscle. Cardio means heart. Okay. So this is the muscles within your heart. And the inner layer, which is in direct contact with the blood that the heart pumps, is called the endocardium. Epicardium outside, outer layer, and which is also known as the visceral pericardium because it lies inside. Okay. Since it is also in the inner wall of the pericardium. Middle layer is made up of contractile cardiac muscle called myocardium. And the inner layer, which is the direct contact with the blood that the heart pumps, is called the endocardium. Okay, epi, myo, and endo. Okay, if you're going to have a dissection of your heart, you can actually observe that the epicardium is there. Okay, the protective layer. Myocardium, this is the muscle part of the heart, and the endocardium. Okay. Do you have any questions so far? Question?
None, sir.
Okay. The heart also consists of 4 chambers. Remember that our heart is a four-chambered heart because it pumps twice simultaneously. It pumps blood to your lungs, that is the pulmonary circulation, and it pumps blood to all parts of your body through systemic circulation. So it is a 4-chambered heart with 2 circulations at the same time or simultaneous. That is the reason why. The 2 upper chambers are called the left and right atria. Okay, that's the singular, the plural. Atrium is the singular. Okay, atria or atrium. The word atrium stands for a place to stay. Like for example, SM, North Atrium. Okay,